beautiful ignited souls, we are ready for a new creation. Hey, beautiful ignited souls, thank you for joining us on the Us Shape like a relationship. So, US, not United States, but United Souls, because we are on this relationship journey of evolution and acknowledging each other on this journey. So, that's why we are here. So, that means please prescribe and, of course, like and subscribe. Yeah, prescribe. Yeah, why not? It's a medicine. Okay, all right. So subscribe and like this video, and of course, and stay ignited, right? Which is usually at the end, but you need to stay ignited now. In fact, you are going to get something to be ignited about. I hope. Okay, so my last video was on Moses, and I had this intuitive knowing, and it's been for some time, and I have done videos on the subject as well. But I had this intuitive knowing that when Moses, in the story of Moses, if you're familiar with the story of Moses on Mount Sinai, where he met with God, this is one of the stories that has impacted the Western world so much, in that, of course, this is how we got the Ten Commandments. So I think everyone would have heard of this story to some extent. Thou shalt not steal, kill, not cover thy neighbor's wife, and that means do not go having adultery, or uh, how have I not remembered much of the commandments? Okay, but to honor thy mother and thy father, and lots of commandments. Now it is said like five of these commandments of for God, and five it's for us, meaning that when we go abide by those commandments, they enrich us. Those that we pay attention to, that for like thou shalt not steal, or cover thy neighbor's wife, or things like that, I believe was meant for us, because it means that we are going to be more at peace with our neighbors, not having a quarrel every day. Oh, you stole my man, or this is my, my fruit that you have stolen, and so on. You get the picture. So on for God now is thou shalt not kill, I feel, and some other ones, but we, these are things that we can explore another time. But there's a deliciousness that I want to share with you, and I hope that you will grasp this, what I'm attempting to say. I'll say attempting because it's something that I see the picture. It's about the figure eight, or the symbol of infinity, which is eight. We have been doing lots with eight, because the symbol actually equals when the word eat as eight, or tea. Therefore, we shall have our tea. And in fact, I'll say, let's have a tea break and break the law of silence. I actually wrote this down because I thought that's exactly what we are doing. Break the law of silence, because there's lots of truths that people have been silent about, and I feel now it's that we have a tea break, in our society, especially, well, I don't know, for I think that would be in the Western world, and perhaps global, let's put it this way. So we're having a tea break, and while you're having a tea break, you're having a chat. Oh, did you watch this last night? Oh, did you see her skirt? This is the time you have to have a little gossip. Oh, and this is where you're breaking the law of silence. And often in the British culture, we say, I'm not one for gossip, but I must say, that's the classic one we have. So let's have a tea break and break the law of silence. But here we are going to break the law of silence on some, I'll say, truths that has not been spoken of on the scriptures. Now, let me just give you a brief thing about what I mean when I say truth, which also is an emblem, if you like, of the number 8. Because one of the things that I have noticed in our makeup, in the construct of language or behavior or whatever we do, if I say to you, oh, I've got the truth and I'm speaking about the truth always bear with it some sacred, I would say, some sacred emblem of half truth. Does that make sense? Meaning there's always an aspect of truth that we do not see. And this is what, of course, we often call a lie, because there is no focus or energy or attraction or anything like that to give it life, that we can then begin to see it as though it were dough taking its rise, and so we can see it from different angles. It is flat, it is hidden, it is obscured, and that's what we call a lie. It's the word lie actually equals 8. And so that in itself is saying, well, there is something hidden in its totality somewhere. It's a seed waiting for attention or whatever life or light or what I was going to say, attention again, that it gets. So I'm hoping you get an idea of what I'm saying. So when I speak of truth, there is something I believe that according to Genesis of chapter 1 or maybe 2, where everything is given for a time and a season. And that is to say that we believe here on this channel, where we are creating a new life or whatever it is we are creating, that there are certain truths that are being presented, there are certain silence that we are breaking or lie that we are revealing. And so we can begin to look at those from different perspective. This is what we are saying in accordance to the last video I did on Moses, or let's look at things from a different perspective, where we see that I made mention about Paul in the disciple in the New Testament, when he says, I die daily, meaning that he strips away certain ideologies or methodologies or habits, whatever it is, that does not serve the new creation. So basically, the new creation, as we say, there is nothing new under the sun, but there is something where in our time is given to us to look at it in what we call a new light, a new day, a new dawn, and so on. One of the things I really want to point out more on Moses and in what I'm trying to explain is that I am with the understanding and not just the belief, because there is that conviction I feel that is really working in us, in all of us. And the more I look at this intelligence, it's the more I see it to be real, that like the figure 8, we go in and out, meaning we are introspective and we are also, should we say, in retrospect. And this in and out is a game that is helping us to understand that our makeup is of spirit and matter, if you like, or that what we call energy, and how we could play about with the understanding of or the mirror aspect of who we are. What I am wanting to say here is something I hope that over time I'll be able to show through the different stories or understanding of all the Bible messages, that the stories, whether you feel that they happen or they didn't, I feel that the stories in the realm of what we may see as an experience also happens within us. It's so, for instance, when I look at Moses on Mount Sinai, is really a activity that happens within our spirit. So, or what we call the Kundalini awakening. This is what I see through all the videos I have done speaking about the two serpents. And I am at the moment, which I'm not going to say too much on that now, but reading on the cosmic serpent. I see a lot of the teachings that I have done has a strong correlation with that, with the double helix. And this is something that was happening to me while I was doing the videos and editing, that the double helix in the emojis was talking to me. It kept calling me. It kept talking to me and taking me back to when I was doing my writings on the crimson light, where I was seeing eights on top of eights. So if you new to this channel, basically I'm an author of 2 volumes of the Crimson Light, which is my own journey of transformation. But in the second volume, while I was writing, some would call it automatic writing, I was actually writing because I was actually experiencing going through the basement of my makeup, meaning the lower chakra. This is what was happening. And of course, it's there I was going through an exercise of the lower chakra, which seemed to have also been where the library of my makeup was. But while I was looking for a book in this library, of going down through the basement of my makeup, I was seeing all these eights on top of eights, and in the library there was not a book that I was to find. Meaning I was given the message that I had to write my own book. And so although this was happening in all this I was actually living the experience. The spirit and the material was happening simultaneously. This was what was happening. Of course, this was a time I was having visions on top of visions, and it was very difficult to separate the two, where the vision was from where the actual experience of everyday activity was happening. So, or what we would say was real. So where the illusion or and the experience or the illusion and the vision is difficult. There is really like no definitive separation. But to make sense of what was happening, I had to take on the creative element of saying, okay, this is where this begins and this is where the other one ends. And that is another description that I got about the number 8, which is in fact like 2 zeros or 2 noughts. And I feel that, of course, hence we say the 10 Commandments with Moses was a lot of thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not. The word not was in every commandment. And here we see what this also is synonymous with the knot, as it were an eight, or the line of infinity. And again, this is an emblem of the double helix. The double helix can be seen a lot of eights on top of eights. And so I saw that my vision too was a lot like, we could say, Jacob's ladder. It's again because that is the double helix. So there is a lot of correlation happening, people. And what I want to say is, when we understand the ins and out, if you like, or the within as within, so without, when we really understand that, we begin to understand the powerful creatures that we are, or beings that we are. And this is why, again, when you are in Christ, as we say, you are a new creature. You are a new serpent. You are the snake. So I have showed this in many of my videos. Basically, the word serpent, as we have learned, is actually 7. We have seen the number 14. So the two serpents is 7 plus 7, which is 14. Now, what I discovered here, and I want to share with you in Exodus, because the story of Moses is a lot to do with the Exodus. Moses, actually, as I say, this is Moses. Moses equals 8. Moses equals 17, like God. 1 plus 7 is 8. And this is what we are about. This is what I really want to explore. I may end up doing more videos on this, because this is so important, that we understand the significance of number 8 as God. And this is why we are being conditioned with food, which we eat, EAT, which we could see how powerful food is. So when we become addicted to certain foods, if they are unhealthy, for instance, you are into fast food, of course, you need those doses. You become addicted to them, and so you need doses and doses to really give you to get a fix, if you like. Also, we see the word eat was responsible for the first sin. Let's just use the Bible terminology here for sin, because sin, of course, and this is why it is said we were born in sin. So this is the food that has been passed on to us. Now, of course, sin is also the scenery of something. This is the eyes. You see with your eyes. And I have done videos on this to show the synonyms in these terminologies. So, just to tell you a little bit more on 8 as well. So we see this is why we are having a tea break. Why would okay, we're having a tea break. So this tea break that we have is like saying we are breaking 8, breaking 8 in the tea, or we are breaking in bites, or that's what it is. So here we are breaking the law of silence in our tea break, and so we can begin to absorb or digest and create. And so when we eat, this is what we are saying, the body itself, the word eat, all the processes that takes place, or within our makeup, within our bodies, is another emblem of the story of Moses. This is how I see it. But just to concentrate on the part of what I really want to say here, is that when Moses met with God, of course, the word in the burning bush, we see that fire, and he saw the fire or flame. The word fire equals 11, which is again like Jesus. So Jesus came, which is a master number, the first master number, and so we have fire equals. I think let's just look at fire because it's important that we get this right. FIRE, which is 9918. 19, 23, 29. So 2 plus 9 is 11. And so we see that this is also indicative of the double, the twins, the two knots, like two ones here as well. One is like the zero or not in its rigid form. And so these are the stories that I really want to capture the essence of how those play out in our makeup. It's almost like if we were to understand what happens within us is as direct correlation to what we have learned, even as a story of Moses going from Egypt to the land of Canaan and so on, we would feel that that is like, it's as if we need to project something out there to be able to see it with our naked eyes to understand what happens within us. But there is the third eye that helps us to understand what happens within. And this is why I like to encourage having your third eye open in the sense of having your divine intelligence being activated. So, which is within each of us, which is the word again. So, there is so much that is intertwined in this presentation, and just like the serpent, because the serpent is more or less I would say guiding me to teach this in the way that it is constructed. So if you're feeling that this teaching is going somewhat in and out, this is really the serpent thing. It's not just this straight line that we just see as one. This is why all parts of our bodies are curved. You could see it's curved. It's not just like something like point to point. There are the curves. There's layers of truths, and this is what we are saying. We want to break the law of silence to understand and listen and use all our senses to begin to digest the deliciousness of this intelligence that we have been given. I use deliciousness, which you may say it's not in context, but it is because we are talking about it. We are talking about EAT, and they ate. So I had a little reading about Moses again. Of course, the story is that Pharaoh had given the command that the children, all the male children should be killed, or they should be thrown in the river. In the river, of course, river is where where the waters flow. Now, earlier on in Genesis, we learn about the river had broken its head in four, or the head was broken in four heads. The river was broken in four heads, the forehead as well, and I believe that is also to do with the brain, also to do with our direction, our north, our south, our east, our west. And so we see it as it was thrown in the river, but it was, of course, water is life. And so the story of Moses, of course, if we also look at, just to give us deeper understanding of what we are just saying, of course, we have the word it here. So 8, just let's see, EIGHT. It actually equals 31, and 3 plus 1 is 4. Now I'm doing this so you can see that, well, for time as well. But this is for those who, let's see if I can find my eraser. Okay, let's look at this. It is, wow, it is 59782, which equals 31. But because I've done this several times, I don't go to add, and so on. So it's 31. 3 plus 1, of course, is 4. And this is what we are talking about, your north, south, east, and west. So, or we could say that it is fire, water, earth, and air, the four main elements. So we'll just see it as that. And so they were, and that is life. So we see this is how Moses came about. Now, I think Moses, the name Moses was given as well, because if I can get this quickly, the name was given because the child, let's see, okay, he shall be called Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of water. And water actually, of water, WATER. Now, what do we see here to begin with is that in the middle of the word water, we have 8. Now, they ate fruit. The Adam and Eve ate. Was it Joseph and or Jacob and Esau? There was about 8. Abraham was about with the angels who told him about he was going to have a son. A lot of things happen about eating. The word "et," it's EAT, EAT, or ATE, or TEA. And this is why we are breaking the law of silence, because we need to understand that all these layers of truth that has not been revealed to before or spoken about, I feel that it has been revealed, but not many people, or like for instance, I'm reading the Zohar as well. So there is a thing about the Zohar was not meant to be taught until it seemed like this is the time. It's the time. And because we are on this last it's last, first and last, you could say, or last and first, because we are in this new creation. Therefore, there are no boundaries to the truth or revelation. There are no boundaries, like we are saying. It's like having a new template. It's a new 8. We are new. It's 8. T. We are having the breaks. Okay. I hope you get this. Okay. So, what we see here about water, let's look at this, because we have seen that the word 8, the word 8, like in the EIGHT, equals 31. And let's look at water here, which is 51259. So this is 10 and this is 22. So 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. And so we see that 4 also has a strong correlation with Moses. This is why he was called Moses, because he equals 8 and 8 is 4. And so that also shows, which is that master number as well, that also shows that there is a like 2020, the year 2020, like I'll say, there is a challenge, there is a transformation that is meant to take place here, right here. And so the story of Moses, when we speak of Aaron, for instance, Aaron, his brother, we are told that is his brother, which is 11965. This is 10, 21, 22. So Aaron is also 22. Basically, what I am saying here is that Moses is not only Moses as but he's also God. Moses is God that contains his brother. Moses is the brain, Brain, which is 26, which is 29195. Adding this together, this is 10, 24, 25, 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. So Moses is the brain, the two hemisphere, and everything is processed here. So Abraham, Aaron, his brother, is also processed in this brain. So it's the 8 on top of 8, like I saw in my vision or automatic writing, is being revealed right here. As in water, Moses is the water, he is 8. He is the word it, EIGHT. The 5 that I have been showing, the I am that I am, which comes to 5. There is so much that I want to show here. The whole idea is to really show this here, but we can see again, this is what the serpent does. And so we have seen the correlation of brain again, which is of 5 letters. 5, the number 5 is being revealed here to us again. The B is like saying the rain, the B, which equals balance, or the brain, or two, whatever it is. We see the B like the bra, or like 2 eyes, and it rains everything. This is why we are saying that the brain is there. Okay, so I want to say that this is also happening within us. We are these 8s on top of 8s, and perhaps it's no wonder that we are addicted to eating, that each time we eat, we are doing 8s. We are doing 8s all over like cells. This is what we are all over. And this is what I was seeing in the vision, or in, it wasn't vision because I was writing, and this was really very clear to me. This is what we are. We are sets of twins, again, twins like Cain and Abel, Eve and Adam and Eve, Esau and Jacob and Esau, all the twins. We see all this. This is what we are, and this is all happening within us, as within, so without. So I want us to be able to just think of this for a moment. This is why we have of the 14 verbatim gods. This is why we have them as set. 2 sevens. There's a set god, which is the 8th god. The 8th god come as Set, and we hear of Set as in the mythical gods as well. And so when we do this 8th god, which is 152 equals 8, I think that this Set god is telling us everything, is really telling us that we are that. And this is, every time I do this, I see a bow tie right here. And in the movies, for instance, we see Hollywood is very good at doing this, to show us, to teach us what the bow tie represents. Let's look at what I want to show that Moses constitute all this right here, which is again the chakras. So when we speak of Moses in the story of Moses and he met with the fire, which we have seen fire equals 29, 2 plus 9 is 11. If we did the word 11, we see it comes to 9, 9 comes to 6, 6 comes to 7, and 7 comes to 2. 2, of course, is 4. And then we see how I have showed this in many of the videos. So basically, we see how the construct plays out among the 14 gods. Now, let's not to shift the attention too much here, is that I feel that Moses is, of course, which equals 17, like God or as God. And here, I feel that Moses is really saying, is God. Is showing you aspects of God. Now, remember at the start of this presentation, I say we will never see all of God. If you see 1/8, that means there's another 8 somewhere that you had not seen. That's why we have shadows. And hence we say the psalm, which the famous psalm number 23, which equals life, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. So shadow as well is telling us that there is always something that we had not seen. You cannot look at yourself and your shadow at the same time. Now, so we see that this to me is really the emblem of the ladder, the double helix, which is, or the double serpent again, or some say the double-headed snake serpent. But I'm going to go into this in other videos. But basically, let's just see if I could. Okay, so this is what we are seeing. All of this is happening and playing out in the story of Moses. Hence, he had the serpents or snakes with Pharaoh, let my people go. Now, people actually equals 33. And of course, 33, which we know is free. If we did free, we would have this as in single because 3 is 11, another 3 is 11. If we added all this together, would give us 4. We see that this is the emblem of the 4 elements of earth, wind, fire, and air. Earth, wind, fire, and earth. Okay. So we see that here of whatever 4 represents your north, your south, your east, and west. So I want to say, when I read, for instance, that Moses was, of course, with the Egyptians. Now I was looking for a way, I have to say, I was looking for a way to write this like Egyptians and just have Egypt representing the lower chakra, which is what I want to say. So Moses was actually, as the number 8, leading the children of Israel into Canaan. Canaan, of course, I feel is the reproductive chakra. So we have all the 7 chakras, which I'm going to go over this and to give you more light, more depth into each of the chakra. So I believe this is the red, this is the orange, yellow, green, the green. So the Amorites, for instance, would be the green, which is the heart. Of course, the heart chakra here is 37. 3 plus 7 is 10. And this is where I believe is the heart of creation, where we have masculine and feminine. And not to make this too much of a long video, I'm going to have a second part to this video so we can begin to really explore this happening. Moses is in you. the journey of the children going from Egypt to Canaan, which is 33. This is where Jesus Christ died, because the Canaanites equals 33. And so we will see that there had to be, again, we see the Egyptians. Now, I have actually, if you like, meditated on how I should present this. Whether should I have the S at the end of Egypt, or should I have Egypt or Egyptian or Egyptians? And so I have gone as I am guided. This is what the wisdom is about. Seek wisdom. This is what we are told. So I was just saying 40 because on here we on 40 minutes, because this is what the story of the children of Israel is about. So, of course, 4 plus 4 is 8, and this is saying again, this is why we are told that Moses, and of course, Moses was called twice. Let's see. As I say, I'm going to do another video on this, where he was called on Mount Sinai through the flame, when he said, I want to see what this fire is about. But the Lord, this is what is written here, when the Lord saw that he was looking at the fire, or he turned and wanted to see what the fire was about. Lord is actually LORD is 3694, which is 10 1922. So we could see how, which represents Aaron as well, because Aaron was the high priest. So the Lord here is like the high priest. The Lord, the willingness, the desire, the divine instruction, or wisdom, if you like, because wisdom is 11. When the wisdom had doubled its vibration, if you like, and Moses wanted to see through the fire. Of course, Moses was called out twice. Moses, Moses, and he said, here I am. Hair, which is hair, is 9, I is another 9, am is 5. Okay, so 9 and 9, 18, 19, 23. And this 23 is life. Life was unfolding right there. If we do the word life, which is 4-letter word, again, giving you the 4 elements, of course, is showing life, LIFE. And so this is 3965, which is 23. And this is also reflecting Christ, which is 32. So, of course, this is what Moses was encountering, the Christ spirit within him. This is what the fire is about. This is what the serpents was about, people. And when we had 2 serpents, now he had to take off his sandals because this was holy ground. All this, I feel, is the representation of what is happening within us. Taking off our inhibitions or habits, or take off your feet so you can actually get grounded. And of course, the sandals is that, as I said before in one of the videos, is that when you have to take off your sandals, you are doing the full cycle. So this is Moses, or if I can just have his this is Moses, and he's taking off his sandals. So it's hands to feet, okay, this is Moses. Okay, and he's taking off his sandals. So this is hands and feet, which hand is 9, feet is 9, 9 and 9, 18. So we have 9, and that is beginning. The word beginning equals 9. So Moses was doing full circle right here, or full cycle. This is what we are talking about. And so here again, even if it's 9, which this is where 8 you could say is breaking. There is an eye opening here, which I have done showed the correlation or connection with number 8 as and number 9. They both represent eye. Okay, so we could just say this is your 2 eyes, for instance, but when we say the word eye, or it equals 9. So there's the connection right there. Okay, now what I wanted to show here is that these are representations of the chakras, or 7 main chakra, and I believe that Jebusites is the again, which equals 27, where we have, you could say it's 2 sevens, or it equals the serpents. 2 sevens are 14, but this is where we are saying, denoting the serpent right here, your enlightenment. And as I said, people, I'm going to do many more videos on there, but we can see there that Moses was taking the children from Egypt, the Egyptians, to the Canaanites. And we will also be exploring the number of letters as we go along. I feel that this is going to be a new series. And of course, this is going to highlight a lot of other teachings that I have done touching on Moses. So I am grateful and thankful for the spirit of the 14 gods that has been guiding us through here. We see that we are 8. This is why when you eat something, this is why we bless it. So it becomes be less in the sense that we are taking off processing that food as blessing given to us. Told that I my on here I have reached the maximum on here. So do join me again when we explore more on understanding why we eat, and perhaps we should call our food Moses, or see Moses in everything, understand the story, how we connect that story with our activity of eating, and in and out what happens. Yeah, okay. So ignited souls, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this interesting. Please leave your comments, like and subscribe, and share this wonderful, I say wonderful, I think it's wonderful and delicious spiritual food. So stay ignited. Thank you.